Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, here with my darling co-host, Phil. How are you today, Phil?
Darling, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm tired, but I'm doing great. It's a really nice day outside. The air smells amazing. And like today's gonna be a really busy day for Reality Realness because there's so many shows that we're covering that we're doing them all today. But it shows that Big Brother's starting. And it just means that spring is coming, because then it just means that the year is going by really quickly. But I like my reality TV life, so
yeah,
it's great.
It's like this is a big day because it's starting to like really kick it off, right, for the year. So let's hope we get like all of our shows eventually come back.
Right? Like, I mean, Survivor though, like it probably won't come back for a while. Like, it won't be back until September.
Yeah, September. They said that they're aiming to have it go live or not go live, but be recorded for September. So that would be great. That's good. I'm okay with September. I've actually enjoyed a bit of a break.
Well, do you know what you have to do? I know that this is an Amazing Race podcast, Amazing Race Australia, but we're reality TV junkies here, so we assume that you guys all are as well. So we will just talk about reality shows also. So I had the honor to talking to Chantele, if that's how you say his last name, and he was on Survivor South Africa, the most recent season. So if you want to see a good season, I just did my first watch of it. And if you want just to feel Survivor, like it's a good season to watch. You want to get it back.
Yeah, I would say anytime you can watch any of the international ones, because they're amazing. They're even more hardcore than the American version.
Way more hardcore. Wait, so have you seen South Africa?
The South Africa one, I've only seen. I saw one season a couple years ago, but the Australian and I saw New Zealand, and I know that there's like this crazy like Romanian version of it as well, but I don't understand what they're saying. But it's wonderful to watch because the challenges are insane.
I will definitely probably take a look at that. I've seen all of Australia, like Australian Survivor. I've only seen maybe another season of South Africa, and I may have seen a season of New Zealand. I can't tell what I've seen. I've just seen a lot of them. Yes. But I have a link if you need one, and I could help you out with South Africa. It's worth the watch for sure.
Wonderful.
Well, now back to our regular schedule event. But before you do so, please make sure that you subscribe, please. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Can't do without you. And join us in the chat because we love talking to you, or comment, or fill out the survey. Any way you participate is welcome, and we love it. So today, first we're going to talk about last week's survey. Or a few days ago.
Yeah, so we did a big survey because we did episode 4 and 5 together. So some of the questions that we asked were with the rock rappel, if they would have chosen brain or bronze. But almost everybody said brains in the survey. The hardest task from there was the cutting the grass with the nail clippers. Everybody said that was awful.
Pretty annoying.
Which it would have been awful. Most people do not think Shane and Deb made the right choice in who they U-turned. And which team... But what's funny is then, which team would you have considered U-turning? Everybody, not everybody, but most of the people said Holly and Dolor. So who knows? Are you surprised with the penalties that all the teams are taking? Yes. And what else did we ask here? The sabotage pass, they said that they would have all given it to Jordan and Violeta. And surprising team, the team that got the most surprises, Ashley and Amanda.
They did. It was really weird. This episode is that I was like, wait, where are the Gold Coast girls? Like, and then I'm like, oh, right, they got the first class pass and they're at a spa or whatever. So I don't think it's an element that should continue ever again.
I'm not enjoying it. No.
Don't like it. I want to see how they would have done with these tasks. I wanted to see, maybe they wanted to enjoy some of the Great Barrier Reef. Like, part of the Amazing Race, in my opinion, is getting to see the world, or getting to do things that you would never do. I play a lot of orgs, and whether I win or lose, I want to stay in it as long as I can, because I want to try all the different tasks, games, challenges. Like, I want to experience those things. So on the scale of the Amazing Race, I want to experience everything because I'm on that race. And so I would feel slightly cheated for the fact that because I was doing well, I don't get to experience the race. Like, why not?
They can't do this on the American one, because they go to like a different country each leg. Like
I could get behind, though. What do you think? I might have mentioned this before, but if instead of them going to the spa or whatever, they still did the tasks, but they didn't have a placement.
Okay, I'll think about that.
I mean, if they want to keep this weird element
if they want to keep it going,
like, because I really would want to experience all these tasks. So I don't know. I feel like that's a way that two people get their way here.
Or maybe like they make it where, like, if you get that first class pass, that's like a save, and if you ever are in trouble, you can use it to save yourself, and then maybe the team that checks in before you goes instead, or something.
So it's like a fast forward?
No, just like you still run the whole leg, but then like if you check in last, you can say we're using our save or something, and then the team above you goes.
That'd be cool, and you can just build it up. Like, I have 10 saves, so I'm winning this game for sure.
Yeah, because I don't think like people care about going to the spa.
No.
Not really.
You got to keep that momentum with this type of thing. Like, being like brain savvy for the race. Like, you kind of have to get in that mindset of like, how to think like a racer. And so being taken away from that world, I don't think it does them any justice for breaking their momentum. So that's a design flaw, guys. You got to fix that, please. So the host, he loves his job. He loves the word island. Said island many, many a times. And they're going to the Great Barrier Reef. I'm sure this is on one of your list of places to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they said it's the only living thing that you can see from space on Earth.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
It's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So we get a little vignette of Jordan and Violeta dancing, and then we find out that their sabotage is that they have to wear goggles and a snorkel. What do you think about that as a punishment?
That's a good punishment. That's tough, because like I hate wearing snorkels, right? Like the face mask, anyways. Like even when I'm in water, like it gets so hot, and like it's so hard to breathe, and then like it's steaming up. That's a great like punishment.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. It's not too terrible that like you completely ruin your game, but it's annoying enough to like be a punishment.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
I thought they were out. I thought there's no way when they were all coming over on that same boat and they had to go around and do the treasure hunt. I was like, there's no way that they're going to be able to survive this, but we'll see.
We'll see. So the salvage, though, for this tour that's given to Ronnie and Jobelle is that they get a tour guide for the leg. What do you think about this as a salvage?
Well, when I first heard it, I thought, okay, this could be really good. Like, I mean, this could be really helpful. I don't really get what he did. Like, he didn't seem to really help. So I don't think on that leg that it was that helpful. But if you had a tour guide that could help you with directions, especially a team like that who has struggled sometimes with directions, that might have been a really good thing. But yeah, he didn't really see, there wasn't much that he did that was a benefit to them.
Unless we didn't see it, but I totally agree with you. It's kind of like, okay, like, can you do this task for us? Like, That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like that he helped them, told them a tip of washing a bag.
I mean, that
was his opinion.
Figure out by watching the 10 other teams that were there, or however many there were.
Yeah.
But in general, though, I do like the salvage and sabotage. I like them both more than I like the first class pass.
Definitely.
100%. That's something that could keep. That's something that could take over into the US version. I can see it translating decently well. I think it's a decent twist that doesn't mess things up too much at all.
Yeah.
So they're on 2 ferries, is it? Yeah. How did this all start though? They're taking a flight, and then they or they just go directly to the ferries.
It was based off of how they checked into the pit stop. So, so the first, I think it was 5.
Mm-hmm. I think
were on the first boat, and then the last 4 were on the second boat.
And so the soundbite we hear is maybe we can actually win this leg, says Dolor. Well, he's in the first group though. So the first group is Dolor and Holly. The Super Seeks, we got Dwes and Katherine, Chris and Aleisha, and there's one more team that I didn't write down. Where is that? Unless it's only 4 of them.
Cowboys? Did you get the Cowboys?
Oh, yes, the Cowboys are there. Yes. You know what? I wrote them down both those times, and I completely overlooked the word Cowboys in both spots where I have this list. Anyway, and the Cowboys. Yes.
And the Cowboys.
So I was thinking that when Dolores said, like, maybe we could actually win this one, I was like, hey, you're definitely not winning this one. Is this your speak? We're going home this week.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think that too?
Yeah, and so now that they didn't go, now I'm like, oh, I have a feeling like this could be like their story is him thinking that they're gonna win this whole thing, and I don't know. Maybe they are.
You think that they might get it together, or just squeak by so many times that?
Wouldn't that be, in some ways, wouldn't that be great?
I mean, they get a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot about them, and I'm starting to like him a little bit more.
He's starting to grow on me because he's so anti this race in some ways. Like, he's not the regular racer.
I think not to put labels on girls, boys, or whatnot, but she does tease him and says, like, why are you being such a girl? And like the teasing part is what I'm condoning here, is that he's just like, just squirmish about everything, and he's supposed to be just like, he has so much attitude that you wouldn't think that he'd be so squirmy, squeamish.
That's right.
Not good at a lot of things. It's kind of funny. So their detour that they're going to have to do is restoration or rehabilitation. So with restoration, they have to go down into the water around the Great Barrier Reef and count. It's kind of, I guess, little baby reeflings. Like, I don't know, what are they called?
Coral. Yeah, so coral. So I guess it would be like a baby coral.
Baby coral? They said a little coral tree, I guess?
Yeah, it's a coral tree that will regenerate into a big coral. I don't know. I guess it's a tree, a big tree.
It's kind of cool. But basically, they're like have to go underwater in this contraption and count these little mini trees, coral trees, on this contraption. And did I say contraption twice? Anyways, it seemed pretty hard. But then the other one looked a lot easier. So the other one is rehabilitation, where they had to go to the sea turtles. They had to wash and clean their tank and then feed the turtles. So that one, it seems easier. Well, what would you
easier? Yeah, I would have done the turtle one. It definitely seemed a lot easier. Even just from reading, like when they were reading it out, I was like, okay, that's a no-brainer, because you have to go out to the water, get into this thing. You're going to have to go through training of how to use this thing, get under, and those things are, I've seen those, like they do those on resorts down south, and it's like, I don't know if those things are safe. Those things look sketchy.
I mean, you get like the water's like up to like here, and you're just like, I did I tell you my scuba diving story?
No.
So when I was 21, I went for my 21st birthday. I went to the Dominican Republic, and I must have told you this story. I feel like it's like it would come up in Amazing Race Chat. Okay. And I was working at a bar, and one of our regular customers was on. It was like a bunch of us that worked at this bar restaurant, and some of our regulars were all going on this vacation together. And so one particular guy, he was a scuba master instructor. Like, he's like been telling me and my best friend this whole time, like, how amazing scuba diving is, and we have to go. And he's just like, gotta go, and like hyping it up big time. So I was like, I mean, I could swim. I've taken swimming lessons, all that jazz. But like, I was still even scared taking off my mask, like underwater in the pool. Like, I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. Like, even that was scary to me. The things that you had to practice to be certified. But I did, or to go down for the one dive. But I did it because he really, really wanted us to experience scuba diving. So we go out on a catamaran. So that was like the pre-trip. And then from the catamaran, our guide would come and pick us up, and we'd go and we'd start the scuba diving portion of it. And the rest of our group was going to stay on the catamaran. So we do it, we go down or whatnot. And because we're on the catamaran, the regular customer friend, he gets freaking seasick. And he was didn't want us to be scared because he knew that we were scared down there. So he still went with us in the water while he was seasick. So down. I'm looking up. I'm like, oh my God, the air is so far away. And it's kind of like, you know, I couldn't really get used to not feeling like I'm getting a full breath of air. And like, so I was working on not panicking, but then I was also being like, I could see myself dying down here. Like, you know, it was beautiful and really clear, you know, 3D aquarium. Yeah, cool. Got that. But then you look around to the back to see my friend or the regular customer taking down his whatever it's called and throwing up in the water, putting it back in, and then all the fish just attacking the barf. So I'm just watching this guy that wanted me to come scuba diving with him. This like fish just attacking his barf underwater, and I'm like, why am I here? And then the instructor like was smashing bananas on our mask, and the fish would just come like this to us, and we're just like. And he was laughing because he knew that me and my
this is awful.
Like, I'm never doing that ever again.
That sounds scarring. Like, that's gonna scar you.
So yes, that's what it reminded me of when I saw them doing that. I feel as though I was traumatized too much for me to want to do that task again. But if it ended up being full at the other one, I think I would be able to accomplish it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Could Dolor be the flow of this season?
Well, we haven't seen like a full out breakdown yet. We need a breakdown to become a flow, right?
I could see a breakdown coming, though. He has breakdown in him. Like, it seems like he's just ready to quit, you know? Like, he's just like, oh.
If he gets U-turned again.
No, I don't think he'd quit from a U-turn. I think he would quit for a task that made him look stupid.
Oh, that's true, too. Yeah.
U-turn, I don't think he minds that element because he likes revenge, it seems, or like getting even. But him looking stupid, it seems like he's like getting wet, like he doesn't like like he takes himself quite seriously. So that would be something like that, I think, would be what makes him won't quit. It's hilarious. So that think that people are going to quit. So the Cowboys decide that they are going to go to restoration, and then everybody else on that first ferry was going to go to rehabilitation. So I was thinking, like, I think the Cowboys are onto something here because, you know, they're going out there first, like nobody else around them. The water's still, they'll have the complete undivided attention of these instructors. And the Cowboys go, and I'm not sure who is whom. So Cowboy number one, they go down and he gets he gets nervous and like
Jackson gets nervous. Yes.
And he couldn't pull through. He started having anxiety underneath there. I really thought that he was going to overcome it and be able to breathe it through, because the instructor did mention like it's very normal for people to start panicking that they're losing air. And like that's how I felt even when I was doing the scuba thing. So I get that feeling, and you really have to coax yourself into not panicking underwater. Like it is a thing. So I just thought that he would be able to do it. I felt bad that he had to say no say.
Yeah. I mean, that's a scary situation when you feel like you don't have air and you know you're quite far underwater. Like, I mean, it's not like you come out of that thing and the air's there. You've got to still go back up the water. Like, I mean, that's tough. That's scary.
Now, the one thing that would make me feel better is that there is like a guy on my back, like the back of me, that's like kind of steering me where do I need to go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would make me feel better. And like, unlike scuba diving, it seems like it would be faster to get to the top than like me going to the instructor like, and like,
right.
You know, and then like go up, like, you know. So I feel like scuba diving is scarier, and I think we go down deeper than that.
You go down deeper, yeah.
It's scary, man. I really couldn't get into it.
We're not under the water for a reason. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't like it. Oh my God. It was so bad. Okay, so while that's happening, Jobelle and Rani are kind of asking the tour guide some questions and stuff. You're right. The tour guide doesn't really seem like he has any extra information. This is on the second ferry that we're kind of getting to use him. But it just seems like he says, like, yeah, just ask me anything. Like, I'll tell you. But it's like, I don't know. I just don't think that it was the right leg for him to be used in. And he wasn't very helpful.
Yeah, there wasn't really, like, any tour guiding happening. Like...
Yeah. It's an interesting idea, though. I don't mind having a local take you around. I think that a lot of people do that on the race. Like they pay somebody to spend the day with them. So I guess they adopted that idea as to be this advantage. It just didn't seem like a leg where he was that useful, though, unfortunately. Sorry. No. At the rehabilitation for the first ferry, Dolor worried about getting wet. What's with this guy?
From a hose.
Oh, Dolor. Like, when it's hot out, I like getting wet. Or like when you're doing like a race type thing where you just don't actually care anymore what you look like. Playing Backyard Big Brother. Like, you know, you just want to be comfortable and like be able to, like, you're not like worried about like, oh, do I look okay? Like, no, like you're
in it, right? You're like trying to get the challenge done. And he just seems to be like not in it. He's like worried about other stuff while he's doing
not
the
the
challenge.
Focus, Dolor. The focus is to get this done quickly. It's not about staying dry. Priorities, Dolor. So team 2, or group 2 arrives, and for most of them, I believe, the detour was full here. So Jessica and Sefa were the first there, I believe, or the first that decided anyways to go and do the other detour. And
no, Skye-Blue and Jake actually got there first, and they got really lucky because they were able to do it.
And this was before the Cowboys, who decided to do the other detour, arrived there. It must have been pretty far apart because it seemed like it took them a long time to get back, and a long time for them to clean these damn cages or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Freaking long. So you're right, though. Skye-Blue and Jake did get in there, and then Jessica and Sefa, I guess, were second.
Yeah. So
they didn't want to waste any time, so they left. Jobelle and Ronnie decided to stay and kind of watch and observe and wait, because right now they just have to really wait for people from the first ferry to finish. So potentially they'd be finishing decently soon. So waiting might be a decent strategy to make up for the travel time between different detours. And then who else was there? So then the Cowboys arrived.
Jordan and and oh my God, Violeta.
Jordan and Violeta arrived as well. I was worried though for Jessica and Sefa, because they were going out on the boat, and Jessica keeps on being like, she was already panicking before she went into the water. Like when she was on the boat getting the lessons, it didn't seem like she was listening, because the key to feeling safe is knowing what to do when you feel unsafe. And didn't seem like she was listening like to the instruction, which I think would make me feel more scared. Like, oh my God, if something happens, I don't know what to do. So I was worried for her, especially seeing how the Cowboys weren't able to overcome the panic. Definitely worried for Jess and Sefa. Would you be panicking on the boat?
No, I think I'd be okay with it. Like, I do think that I'd be okay with doing something like that. I just feel like it's one of those. It just sounded like such a harder challenge to do. But I can imagine that because she said, I think she's even said in the past, she doesn't swim. Like, she doesn't go in the water much. But both times that, like, they did the synchronized swimming, and they did really well in that one too. So maybe she is a swimmer and she just doesn't know it.
Well, it could be that thing where people that live by the ocean, they just are better in water than people that have to literally take a swimming lesson or go on a vacation before they can see the ocean. So maybe she's frolicked in water before, and like, but she hasn't gone and done her bronze medallion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, because it says that she does seem, for someone that says that she cannot swim, a lot more adept than
comfortable. Yeah, at least comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So she seems comfortable enough in water. Like, because someone that couldn't swim, I don't think would even know how to dive down and put their head up through into that machine thing
without freaking out. No.
Like, that's not the easiest thing to do, to dive down and can come up underneath there. So I would say that she knows how to swim more than most people. I would say. So yeah, the Cowboys arrived. Jessica's panicking on the boat. The goggled couple shows up. And then we see the first team that's doing the rehabilitation. What did I write about Dolor? I don't know what I wrote. I can't read my writing.
No.
They had to do 30 squid. Debone 30 squid. It doesn't say Dolor, it says debone. Right. Bone 30 squid. I didn't know squid had bones. Like, what does that mean? Like, devein? Like, what?
They must. I don't know. Do they?
I could have sworn they said debone. I didn't rewind it, but I was like, what bone do they have, though? But I don't know. Ron? Ron?
Do squids have bones?
So who got out first in the end?
The Super Seeks.
They are pretty good. Like, they seem to not complain. They are very helpful, and they just get out and in front without, like, I don't feel like they're the competition, even though they're doing so well. They have a way of seeming to make people want to work with them and or just like their presence around them. So I was happy that they left first. I'm kind of mad that I didn't have them on my team, because I feel like they seem like a final three team.
Yeah, they do.
So the new route foe. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and then I was going to say, and then, like, very weirdly, Ron says they do have bones. Look at that.
Okay, thanks, Ron.
All right. I was going to say, like, almost instantly after them, Skye-Blue and Jake are done, and they were on the second. I was like, how did they get ahead when, like, all these teams were there for so long, and then they just like seem to just like get in and go out. I was like, what did they do? They were machines.
Yeah, I don't know how they were so quick. I agree. I was like surprised that they were on the second ferry and they were out in ahead of most of the teams from the first ferry. So they definitely use that water pressure more effectively than Dolor did, apparently. And did you sense a little sass? That was from Skye-Blue, right? When Dolor was like, it's the water pressure, like the water pressure is the same, Dolor. It was
for everybody.
I was like, ooh, a little sass.
Yeah.
Sass.
Another team not feeling Dolor.
Dolor. So the route info says that they have to make their way to Green Island and collect some glass bottles from 5 different locations and then bring it to recycling. I like this part of the challenge. I like scavenger hunty type things. One critique I could have is that maybe each team had a different order or different something, because I didn't like that you could work together kind of and each just like follow the leader and like just get all the different bottles. So I like the task, but I feel as though it should have been a solo mission, you know?
Yeah, I think that they should have randomly just chosen a map and then had to go. Go and do it. And they all get the same 5 things, but they'd have to like do it in a certain order or something. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, a little bit underwhelmed when people started working together for this particular one. Yeah. It didn't work for me. But before they get there, they equalize them again. So the Super Seeds get there in Skye-Blue, but they have to wait to fill up their boat for the first 5 teams. So they could have been half an hour ahead of everybody else, but they had to wait until the 5th team showed up. So I thought that was a mistake in leg design, unless they just want to try to make drama happen for like close calls.
It would have really sucked if they did that and like it was like the first 5 teams were on that first boat again. I did kind of like the fact that 2 of the teams that were in the back boat at the beginning actually got on the first boat, and it pushed 2 teams down. So it kind of felt in some ways that got fair. But if everybody had done the challenges all at the same level, it kind of would have been redundant to put them on another boat where they had to wait. For like there'd be no catching up, but they were able to do it, so that was good.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a full equalizer, but I would have hated if I was the Super Seeds have to wait until team number 5 showed up. That's like why do well when I have to wait for the 5th worst or 5th best. So Jess goes down and she starts panicking a little bit. They didn't show Sefa at all. Maybe some voiceovers of him talking about the challenge, but Jess got at least the first one incorrect, first maybe second, and then she was able to pull through with counting the correct 109 little coral trees. I screamed. I was so proud of her.
Yeah. It was so funny because like he didn't even know she was done, and she's already getting the clue, and then he's like, "Oh, we're done!" Like, that's great.
She's like, "Get out of here!
I want out of here."
So yes, it created a sense of urgency within her. It's like, let me do this accurately and quickly so I can get out of here. But I was so proud that she was able to do it and do it correctly, not stress out, or not allow her panic and stress to overcome her and not let her complete the task. It allowed her to focus and get it done quickly, which I think is really rewarding. And that's one of the things that I like about The Amazing Race is seeing everyday people overcome extraordinary like fears or circumstances. Like it felt really good. So I was really happy for them.
They did really well. And I was happy for them because it helps them get a little bit ahead because of that success. So that's
absolutely. So Sage-Blue, I just wrote that here, and Jake are really quick and get to the boat. And then it was Jordan and Aleisha. Just kidding. Hold on. Jordan and Aleisha then show up at the other thing, and they weren't able to wear their snorkeling gear around the turtles. Is that right? I'm thinking of the wrong people.
Jordan and Violeta. Yeah, they weren't allowed to wear the
I remember Aleisha. They're the same person to me. That's that couple. I can't tell the difference between the two. I know I can, but they're very similar to me in their look, you know?
Right.
Excuse me. So Jordan and Violeta, they couldn't do the turtle task with the snorkels on because it was going to scare the turtles.
It's going to scare anybody.
Well, I'm just wondering, why did they choose to have the snorkel stuff on this particular leg?
Like, if there's turtles.
Wouldn't they have asked if that would be allowed, or did someone just like the guy's like, okay, what's the sabotage we're gonna do today? Just make it up on the fly and see what happens.
That was the like, okay, why did that happen? Because that shouldn't be happening. But I guess maybe it was just like a nice way to say you don't need to wear them. I don't know.
Well, I thought that they were gonna have a penalty for not wearing it.
Yeah, well,
I thought so. I don't know. I mean, yes, it was impeding a lot of the task this leg, but the fact that they had to remove it to do a task, because when the whole purpose of wearing it is to make doing the task difficult, it just seemed a little bit silly for it to be chosen this particular leg. So, flaw. So Jessica and Sefa thought that they were at the very back of the pack after they finished doing the task. And then they realized that they are 5th on the first boat. I was so happy for them. They were so happy. They're giving high fives to everybody. Like, they were at the back of the pack and now they're in the front of the pack, which is like, that's really awesome. And they're going to have a pretty big lead with the fact that there's however long in between boat rides. So,
I mean, what's really interesting is they went to the turtle one first, saw the cowboys there who had gone to this thing, and then they got on the boat, went to go do all that, beat the cowboys. Like, I mean, the cowboys were still at the other thing. Like, I mean, they really kicked butt. So
it was a good one. Good one for them. And the Cowboys were not doing well this leg at all. I mean, they had the setback. They had to come back. They had to wait in line. But now they're going to be almost like they're second to last now, going into what seems like a long a detour. And so the only thing that we have to hope that they're going to stay in is the fact that everybody has to wait for them. The 5 teams have to wait for them. So if they're going to be on even playing field with 5 other teams, that's a pretty good position to be in because they're generally very good at tasks and they seem to have, good cardiovascular strength. So they'd be able to outrun most of the teams, I think, that were in the back. But I was pretty surprised though, that they fell so far. So the task for I hate when they split the people up like this. It gets really confusing in my opinion. So the first group of people that went out to this island, they get their map and they have to go around and start collecting these bottles. And one of the bottles are underwater out in the ocean. And so they have to inflate a lilo. Did you know that it was called a lilo? Lilo.
No idea. No.
Me neither. I was just like, what do we call it though? Floaty?
Yeah, it's like a floaty raft thing.
A raft, floaty raft.
Yeah.
Not a lilo, but that's cute though. So they go out to the water and dive down and then come back up with the bottle and get back on the raft. Or get back to the raft. Now, I feel like, though, it's a little bit dangerous, especially since there's seemingly a lot of people that are not that comfortable swimming to be going and diving down to that's kind of challenging, I would say, for duos that might not be that strong swimming. So I thought that
it was an interesting one because the other 4 bottles there wasn't really a task involved with getting the other 4 bottles, the same way. So I thought maybe they have to climb something on one and maybe they have to but it just seemed like that was the one and so if you weren't a strong swimmer, this task was going to hurt you. Whereas I don't know. It didn't seem like it was fair because we already sort of had the go underwater task this leg already. So yeah.
So I was also kind of like weird that they would put something that you need to know how to swim to do. Like you're not going to be able to dive down and get that bottle unless you know how to swim. It's just like it's just it. So I thought it was just a little bit of a disadvantage for any team that couldn't swim well. So the Super Seeks, though, had trouble with this bottle that was out in the water. Their raft was drifting away because of the undertow. And so they could see Skye-Blue and Jake. They were pretty much finished getting their bottle. And the kind souls they are, she actually dives down and gets the Super Seek a bottle and gives them the bottle.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like you weren't happy about this decision by Skye.
I get it, and it's to the right team because the like that team would do the same thing because we've seen it already. I just I feel like Skye-Blue and Jake needed they need a first place here, and this was a risk for them to get that first place because they've been kind of in the middle, not really being seen. They would need this, and I think like. They didn't get a lot of help from any of the teams that we saw during most of these other tasks.
Yeah.
So, it's time for them to push forward and get that. But who knows?
I guess they probably didn't want to be like, sorry, bye. Like it's too in your face, not helping someone that could maybe not with the Super Seeks, but with anybody else could backfire maybe. So maybe they're just like, hey, like we're here, we can do this to help them out, and it could maybe benefit us moving forward. So a little awkward moment. I
would say it is one of those tasks though where you could get away with not helping people in that situation because you could say, like, I'm struggling myself here. I've got to get back to land. Like this is because that was a tough one. So yeah, get back. And run off.
I was probably thinking though this whole time, I'm like, there's no way that Dolor and Holly are going to be able to do this one. I'm like Dolor doesn't seem like he likes swimming if he knows how. Or he's not getting wet anyways from a hose. So I'm assuming that he wouldn't want to go out in the water because he stood on the beach the last time. And I mean, I wasn't sure about Holly's swimming abilities, but I just wasn't sure if they would be able to do this task because of that sound bite in the beginning where he's like, oh, I think we can win this one. I'm like, oh, is this them telling us they're going to be losing this leg? So yeah, I didn't think that they were going to be good at it. But okay, so Sefa and Jessica, they were going the different route. I think they went like the opposite direction than most of the teams. And so they got done pretty quickly and first. And I was like, wow, like she's overcome her fear. She's on the first ferry, and now they're both in first place of this task. So I was pretty happy for them at this point that they race the people's race this leg. That's right. The audience leg. They did what they wanted to do.
It's so fun to see like a team that was in the back had to switch detours because not by choice. They were told you can't go in right now, and they went and did something that they were not comfortable doing. And to see them at one point in this race to be in first place, I mean, this wasn't a leg where you would think that they would be doing the best. Mm-hmm. So this is good.
How did Jake and Skye-Blue though catch up? Because all of a sudden I believe that they were all figuring out the message inside the bottles. So there's a piece of paper inside of each of the bottles, the 5 of them, that had a message on basically where the pit stop was. And so I feel like Jake and Skye-Blue was there. It was Sefa and Jessica, correct? It was those.
They were done first, but it was very close with Skye-Blue and Jake right behind them. And I think it even got to the point where they were like just getting to the beach when the pass. happen?
So yeah, basically Jessica and Sefa, they were so close to their first place win, but a little bit more speed of Skye-Blue and Jake allowed them to overtake them in the foot race, and they did end up getting a first place win here and a trip to Disney World or Land in Florida.
Was it in Florida or California?
Oh, I wrote down Florida. Okay, that makes sense then, because I was like, isn't Disneyland in California? But I wrote down Florida.
I think it was California.
Okay, so Disneyland, and land is in Florida. Correct. I mean, in California.
It's somewhere down there.
I'm tired, okay, guys. Actually, well, I like Disney World better. I've been to both. Disney World, I think, was a better one. I think that's the one with Epcot Center. At the time. Back then. I don't know if that still exists. Dolores is here. Hi, Dolores.
Hey, Dolores.
Says, I can't catch the Aussie version, but I'm seriously considering purchasing a VPN so I can catch it up easier. I came because I'm ridiculously like you guys. Well, Dolores, I could tell you that I could help you out so you don't even need a VPN for this one. This one we found on the interwebs on YT. YouTube. YouTube's got it. So I'll send it to you. Land is in California. Yes, I'm in Miami, and I know Disney World is here in Florida. Yeah, no, I wrote down Disneyland, Florida, but I know that Disneyland is in California.
I think most people, though, when you hear Disney, you automatically think Florida to begin with. Like, so it's like, oh, but then I know as a kid, I was like, which one's world? Which one's land? How does this work? Why is there two?
I was always, I was thinking about it, like, how do land and Florida and California. There was a reason why that I just remembered making myself remember the difference.
Right.
Concerted effort to remember the difference between the two. But yes, land is in California. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, we'll let Dolores.
We'll
let Dolores know how to find the Amazing Race Australia, because it's really good. You'll like it.
Yeah, I honestly, I will. If I even can figure it out while we're talking, I could post it in here. I could also send it to you on Instagram as well. Don't worry, I will do that for you. And it's like, I think it's almost done now, so you could just like binge watch it and catch up to us. Boom. Well, this episode's almost over. So basically, we've got Skye-Blue and Jake coming in first. Jessica and Sefa are second. The Super Seeks ended up falling to third. Dwes and Katherine, fourth place. Yeah. Go, go, go. And Chris and Aleisha are fifth.
Yeah. So that first boat, they've all checked in. They're all done.
What was the little moment with Bo and like the greeter going in for the kiss? What was that moment?
What was that moment? And it kept happening. I was like, what is going on here?
Okay.
And it felt like, is something gonna happen here? It kind of could.
I think the host is cute though. I don't know. Okay, so then round 2's coming up. We do finally get to see Dolor and Holly doing the treasure map task, and Holly is the one that swims down and gets that bottle with no trouble whatsoever. And I feel like Dolor gave her some props there. Like he was like, "Yeah, go girl," or like, "That's my girl," or something, like taking pride in Holly. And so I was like, okay, he's just
every so often, right? He grows on you. He's just like,
yeah, I think that's why she hasn't dumped him yet, because like he kind of is charming and likable at times, you know? So understanding more and more why she puts up with his nonsense, because when he's nice, he's lovely.
Yeah. He's a good character for TV. He's great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He'd be back for an all-star season regardless of what they plays, you know?
That's right.
So we see Ronnie and Jobelle going out for the bottle, and I'm not sure if they just didn't put enough air, because I believe that they're blowing it up themselves. I don't know if they were using their mouth.
Yeah.
Or if they had a pump, but it didn't seem like they inflated it a lot, which would make it a scarier situation going out in the water because it would be sinking and wouldn't feel as secure, especially if you don't swim. So when they get out there, Ronnie does panic and he actually has to get medics to take him out of the challenge.
Yeah.
What do you feel in that moment?
I felt bad because I know that, like, he seems like he was going to take that on himself. Like, he's you know, he felt bad. They knew that they were towards the back. You know, again, I still don't get what that tour guide was there for. Like, I actually feel like that could have, like, maybe the tour guide could have been the advantage. The tour guide goes out and gets it for them or something. Like, the tour guide didn't really seem to do anything for them.
No.
So.
At all. And
he was a nice person, but you know, like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't know what that was for.
Yeah, it didn't help at all.
Yeah.
So they decided to get medevaced and then take the penalty of whatever it was going to be and just continue with the rest of the race. But it wasn't really that helpful for them. So I don't know if I wrote that in the order. So Cowboys came in 6th, I believe. Mm-hmm. Jordan and Violeta managed to catch up and get to 7th place. Holly and Dolor were 8th, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, is it Jobelle and Ronnie, or who am I missing?
Yeah, Jobelle and Ronnie, because the girls weren't.
Oh, that's me. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so Jobelle and Ronnie, even with not completing the task and taking up their penalty, they were eliminated. They came in last again.
Yeah, which sucks because they were a good team. I wish that they could have went a little bit longer because they were racing for a good reason.
Yes.
Right? For their
brother.
I
don't know if they were equipped for the race. It was just, I don't think it suited their skill sets, but I was enjoying them working together, and like the love that they have for themselves and their family was nice to see on TV. And it was nice to see that they got an opportunity to live out a dream, which I love to see. So sorry that it ended. She kind of ended with a nice little thing, like, this was my childhood dream and now I'm going to go home to my grown-up dream. And I think that's being a mom to her children. So I thought that was a sweet thing to say. Well, that was pretty much the episode. I mean, I didn't really go into detail about the second leg going around looking for bottles. Not really that much to tell about.
No. Besides Jobelle and Ronnie's incident on the raft, there wasn't really tons that happened. So
yeah,
it was a nice island.
Or that Dolor and Holly. I thought that they were going to do better, but they went the wrong way on the foot race part, and so that's why they ended up coming in 8th. Because I thought they were going to come in 7th, but they ended up coming in 8th because they messed up at the last minute.
And we did see that Jordan and Violeta, they're not the type of people that are going to help other people. They were getting Jordan is, but Violeta was quite upset with him for saying anything. So.
Yeah, where the bottles were. That was actually maybe an important part that I forgot. But yeah, one of the bottles were hidden in the tree branches. And so people were looking everywhere for them, and they finally found it. And Jordan told 2 teams where to find the bottle. And Violeta was not having any of it at all.
No. Which I would agree with. They were in the back.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Like, out of there.
That's right.
So that's pretty much it for the episode. Do you have anything else to mention?
Well, so we do have a poll. So look in the comments or in the description of the video, fill out the poll, and we'll go over it at the next time we have our live chat. But the poll this month, well, obviously we know your answer to this. Was the salvage pass advantage of a tour guide helpful?
No.
Considering the team that got it lost.
Yeah, and like the person that got the sabotage, they beat them by like 3 positions.
That's right.
That's really
the sabotage, having to wear the snorkel, was that a disadvantage? I do think it was a disadvantage, though the turtle farm was a bit weird there that they took it off, had to take it off. What do you think was the hardest task? The coral?
No. Yeah, the coral, because it's not like controlling panic is more challenging than scrubbing turtle poop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree. Yeah. Do you think Skye-Blue and Jake made the right choice in helping the Super Sinks?
I don't think that I could have swam away and left them out there. I just don't think in my heart I would have been able to do that, regardless of being on the race. I think my empathy for human and human beings would have kicked in, and I wouldn't be cutthroat, and I would be like, I'll get this for you. You owe me one.
From low 1 being low to 10 being hot, or being steaming hot, how much unspeakable lust did the host have for the pit stop greeter?
He didn't really have any lust. I would say maybe a 3, but he was so often.
And then for the 9 teams of it left, which remaining team do you think is the most fun to watch?
Due to this leg, I would say Jessica and Sefa, because they're big personalities, and so when they achieve well, you're really with them and you're really excited for them. Like I was like, yes, yeah, like, you know, I was involved in that moment for them, and so I think that's because their personalities bring me in, and like I'm rooting for them on a human level. So I'd say right now it would be them, but it could just be recency bias for them doing well in this leg.
I think that comedy-wise, they're the funniest team, and definitely like they say some good things, and they're in some ways they're like like they say stuff about themselves first, so you can laugh at them, so that they can then laugh at other people, which is always the best way to go about it. I do think fun to watch in some ways is also Holly and Dolor, because I mean, you know, they're great television.
What is he going to complain about? Oh, Holly, like, yeah, definitely, they're up there. So Dolores, I'm saying it sounds like it was helpful to everyone else. So Dolores, they have like a new part of this race where at some points, different points that are predetermined, the winning team has to give out a sabotage and a salvage. And so the salvage is supposed to be an advantage that only one team received. So the one team that received the salvage this leg, they actually, spoiler alert, it didn't help them out. They didn't come in first. We'll just say that. So it was only one team that got that advantage, which didn't seem like much of an advantage, just to clarify. But that's all she wrote. We got it all in under an hour.
Woohoo!
So, do you have anything that you want to share with us? Good Time Games?
Oh, Good Time Games is happening. If you're on Facebook, look for us, our page, Good Time Games with Adam and Phil. If you like playing games online, reach out to us. We definitely have some fun games coming up, including an online live game that we're calling Tagged, that you can play, and the winner will win cash. So always a fun thing. So take a look on our page and reach out to us if you have more information. Share it with your friends.
Sweet. I'm going to go and check that out because I want to win some cash, please. For me, you can find me obviously here on Reality Realness with 3 S's, and also on Reality Pop. So it's a new reality channel that I will be broadcasting Big Brother updates. And today will be the first recap of the season. So join us at 8:15 Eastern time on either channel. So Reality TV Pop or Reality Realness for that live at 8:15. And then later on tonight, I will be on here again with the challenge at about 10:30 Eastern time. So a lot of talking still to come. Please hang out with us. What's Laura saying?
When are you going to have a nap?
I need a nap. I do. I'm actually really tired. I might take a half an hour shut our eyes, or, But other than that, let me just say this again, guys. Please subscribe right down below. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Like this video, comment, all that jazz. Share it with your friends. Just do it. And we'll see you
Do it.
later.
Bye.
Bye.